and I will muddle through this as I do every podcast that I start with. Embarrassing when you're doing it on a live stream, but hey, we're not perfect. Hosted on Hand Cannon Online, part of the Scrumcast family of podcasts. This is the TrollbloodScrum, the founding Trollblood Scrumcast. No, we got to do it again. So I don't want to make Danny go through and edit my stuff.
Already sounds as good as Goris's.
This is my 4 New Gamer voice, but I always say part of the Scrumcast family. But I'm thinking, well, this is I guess it'd be the parent of the Scrumcast family. That's the way to do it. Okay, so here we go.
The Daddy Cast?
The Daddy Cast. Ooh, that just sounds that could be creepy if we're not careful. Okay.
Make sure the whelps are in bed before you listen.
Okay, here we go. Give Danny a pause before I start. Part of the Scrumcast. Nope. See, I did it right now. 3, 2, 1. Hosted on Hand Cannon Online, the founding podcast of the Scrumcast family. We are the TrollbloodScrum, coming from the great nation of Canada. On the line tonight, we have from British Columbia, we have Corey, who is not showing up in my feed right now. So Corey is stepped away. And then we also have Drake. So why don't you say good morning, or good afternoon, evening, whichever.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
There we go. This is Fraser, also known as Deathhead Dice, the social media harasser or spammer, I think is probably the most polite way of saying it. We are without Goris due to him having technical difficulties, and we're without Dallas because of work constraints. And with Mike is in a different time zone and not in front of a computer. So we're doing this like I said, the all Canadian edition. And I did this wrong. I forgot to do the one-liners. So we'll go back to the one-liner. So this is the Scrumcast, where in Canada we have gun control, but no one's controlling Gunny. Or, Corey.
All you, Pat.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Corey.
I gotta remember what I said now.
It was Janessa.
Yeah. So, welcome to the Scrumcast, where Janissa may not make walls anymore, but Trump's trying to, so that's why they outsourced to Canada.
There we go. So you get 2 for 1 on this episode. We're making up for the lack of the original host by having extra bad jokes. So, well, thank you for joining us, gentlemen, and we'll jump right into the news. So I think we've got a few things to talk about. And you know what? Me being the selfish person that I am, I'm going to jump in and just quickly talk about the Battle Reporter. So as everyone knows, I've been pushing this crazy Battle Reporter tool, which is a way for us to collect information on games played across the community. We now have an official URL. No longer do you have to remember a horrible Google shortened URL. We now have WMH, which is War Machine Hordes, battlereporter.com. So you can go and report all your games there, and we'll start. And we've been pushing some of the results to the social medias and all the different faction groups. I have to call out all the troll players, because right now the troll players are putting in about 23% of the games overall, compared to the next closest faction, and that's about 212 games reported of the just over 1,000 games. And of that, the next closest is Kador at about 105. So troll players are kicking ass, so thank you for that. So all we have to do now is get your opponents to start putting their stuff in, and all the other people in your community, so we can get more results. We're starting to see some interesting trending, but because some of the factions are still less than 100 games reported, where it's a little bit skewed to the trolls, which, personally, I don't mind, but it's hard to convince everyone how valuable the data is. So just keep putting those in. The other little sneak peek I have is one of the local guys here is actually making us an Android app. So we'll have more on that over the next few weeks as we start getting that. And if you have any questions or suggestions or things you want to see in that, reach out to me through the Scrumcast Facebook page, and I can pass them along. Charles and I just had a call on that today, talking about what we want to do and sort of planning out the next few weeks. So that's my news. Corey and Drake, you guys may have a bit of news. Why don't we go to Drake and you talk about your the upcoming event?
Well, I think you should go to Corey for that because he actually has all the information for it.
Oh, okay. So I throw to one of you and I should be throwing to the other. I just you think I've done this before?
So our local event we're going to run up here in BC, Kamloops, BC, Canada, is called Attack X. We're both a Iron Gauntlet qualifier and a War Machine Weekend qualifier. So on the Friday of our event, we are a qualifier for the Iron Gauntlet. We're going to run the first rounds till there's just a final pair, and then that'll finish Sunday morning. And then on Saturday is our War Machine Weekend qualifier, and the winner of that will play out on Sunday also, as we plan to live stream the games. So the winner of the War Machine Weekend qualifier will get a ticket paid for flight to St. Louis for the War Machine Weekend tournament.
Wow. That's crazy. You're covering the flight as well as is that normal? Or is that something just special for the event you guys are running?
That's for Attack X for the War Machine Weekend qualifier. Nathan Boza, who's the guy that owns and runs Attack X, is offered to pay for the ticket for the flight out to St. Louis for the tournament.
Wow. So how much is my flight from Ontario to your event to see if I can win the free ticket to War Machine Weekend?
Oh, way more than the trip to Seattle or to St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, since I can drive there probably for cheaper. So, but it's the thought of winning the airfare that just
I think it cost me. I think it cost me $800 to fly out to Ontario last spring.
Okay. Yeah, I have to start saving my pennies for lock and load, because that's the plan for next year, is try to make it out to lock and load. But that's fantastic. So, and there's and you have, I'm assuming you'll provide us the link to all the information. Are they taking registry? Are they registering? Go ahead.
Yeah, registration was up about a month ago. Everything's at attack-x.com. So you can just log on to the website and follow all the links. It'll take you there. It actually runs a bunch of different events and games. So if your friends play other game systems, we probably have a tournament for those also. If you want to carpool, save some money, or share hotel rooms to cut expenses down. And again, attackx.com.
Awesome. Okay. Well, and that's easy to get to, I'm assuming, from all the surrounding areas. So that's good. Okay, I think I'll jump back on the news section now, where if you're in the Southern Ontario area on August 27th, we have a WTC Team Canada fundraising event. It's a 5-man team tournament in Guelph, Ontario. We've got it's limited to 12 5-man teams following the WTC rules. We are now at 10 teams registered, and lists are due on the 15th. So if you're in the area and you want to put together a team, just reach out. I'll put a link in there. I think I've posted the Scrumcast as well, their Facebook page, but it's a link to the Facebook event page. Just reach out. You can register even online. Just reach out to Chris Orr, who's running it, one of the WTC Team Canada guys. And it's going to be a blast. A bunch of the 4 New Gamer guys are going to be there with the team, as well as I think most of the WTC guys that are in the Ontario area are coming down. And they're not all on the same team, so it gives everyone else a bit of a chance to have fun rather than running up to the WTC guys. That's what happened to us at the OTC. Round 1, we got the team that had Bubba Dalton, Chris Orr, Chandler, Marc-Andre LeBlanc, and one of the other guys from Team Canada. So it was like nothing like team day one or game one going against the very best, the guys who wound up winning the tournament. So no chance of that happening.
I was gonna say so you showed them why your team should take their place, right? You guys just went in and won it, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. We swept all 5 games. It was great. No, it was you're in a disadvantage when your opponent knows your list better than you do and knows all the ways to take apart your list very quickly. So I felt like Marc-Andre was just toying with me in a very nice way, and he told me what he was doing and why he was doing it. But I felt like I just was I was in a daze just watching him completely tear apart my list at the time. But it was a great game, and Bubba was part of our local meta here, so I get to. Although he's playing baseball constantly right now, so he's not playing any games, or very few games. But anyways, I'm sidetracked. So if you're in Southern Ontario, August 27th, sign up before it sells out. It's going to be fun. So let's switch back over. Who wants to talk about the that fashionable piece I saw you showcasing in the pre-show?
Well, I guess I should talk about it since I'm the one doing that part at least. Well, as you know, Corey has these amazing cases that he makes, the plexiglass cases that we showed off on the last show, and we've made a fabric bag to cover the cases if you're going on a long trip, so it makes them just a little more scratch resistant and so on if they're bouncing around the trunk. It's made of denim material, and it's got a protective lining on the inside, followed by a very soft lining to make sure that your case stays nice and safe. But now we've got an added feature.
That awkward silence.
Yep. That's okay.
Awkward silence, that's free. Okay. Now you can wear it as you go. We're making a backpack model, so it's actually very comfortable, and it helps distribute the weight nicely. So even if you're a troll player, you're not breaking your back like a Krellstone bearer. I've got 2 lists of trolls in here right now, including 4 or 5 heavies, even Mulg the Ancient himself, and I've got the Glacier King in here, and it feels just fine. This is great for going to and from the shop or any events you have.
Well, and the nice thing too is I know some of the other bags you see in the market, they have a whole bunch of pockets you have to put your stuff into. But because you've got that tray in the bottom that holds your dice, it holds all your tokens and all those pieces, you don't even have to have any of the pockets on the side to clear anything, which is, I think, would be nicer because there's less chance of things getting opened or potentially losing things that way.
Exactly.
Nice. And I see a custom bag with a creel stone being available as well eventually. Someone taking it upon themselves, because that walking around with a creel stone I think would be pretty damn awesome on your back. You've given me a wonderful idea.
Well, it would be great if. Yeah, there you go. You can it can be your army bag as well as help you cosplay for Lock and Load next year.
There we go. It's multi-purpose. And just get Dave from who does our LED lighting and put some glowy runes in it. Oh man, you got all the gears whirling now. Man, that's so awesome. And
a little bit of blue makeup, shave your head, just go in there wearing a tartan, you're good to go.
Yep, that's it. Well, I'll go down, I'll pick up a unikilt before the show, and then at their store in Seattle, and I'll be good to go. So. Awesome. Well, that looks really good. And
well, isn't that how it works? I mean, the Krellstone does carry the army, right? I mean, come on.
That works on so many levels, man. That's so good. And just to confirm, the Kickstarter still has about another 10 days to go. How many days do we have left on the Kickstarter?
I think we're only about 10 days left.
Okay, so there's still opportunity to
to be honest, I barely look at it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would be looking at it constantly. I'd be hitting refresh.
One of the things we're looking at is we did set an extremely high goal. The hope for that goal was to make sure that we could offer the best available add-ons to it. So we wanted to put proxy bases in that we made in-house, but we can outsource that. Making it in-house just makes it cheaper. We wanted to be able to add and sell custom widgets with it, so you could get a full widget set if you wanted for, again, a cheaper price. We wanted to be able to include a lot of other stuff in the deal. But we can just outsource a bunch. So our hope is we're going to fire up regardless whether the Kickstarter succeeds. It's just our prices might be sort of a little higher. Hopefully not. We just want to get everything under control and make sure it's as affordable as possible. Anyone that did Kickstarter, though, or has already Kickstarted, we will stay loyal to that Kickstarter price.
So even more reason if you're still thinking about it, to get in it now, knowing that you've locked in that better price. Well, and it's been interesting. I've had a number of people, at least in my area, talk about it. And I think that and I think having Dallas talk about how much he liked his last episode really helped, and understand how good how good the product is and how solid it is, and the fact you can turn these things on the side. Because I know a few people had commented, well, I think my models will lose. What if I bump it around too much? And I'm saying it's designed not to do that, right? You've designed it in such a way where your models are not going to get lodged out if you just bump the thing slightly, or heaven forbid you drop it. It's designed to stay right on those tracks.
The goal was to make the models as safe as possible and to create enough space. So the two biggest questions I have are and Maul comes up a lot, is I have Maul or have Behemoth. And to be honest, I don't pin anything in my bases. All my stuff is just glued in with Loctite gel. So I don't even use like a proper Gorilla Glue or anything else. I just use Loctite Crazy Glue gel, and everything seems to fit fine. I own Moog. In my first test one, I used Moog, and everything seemed okay. I laid it on a side. I don't drop it. I don't bounce around. It is made out of plexiglass. We have ordered Lexan, and we are going to offer a Lexan variant, so it should give us a more durable outer shell and case. It's just Lexan is extremely more expensive. The other question I get asked a lot is, will it scratch my bases? And I paint base arc marches on all my models. My original ones were tight. We've added a lot more depth. We've pushed it as far as we can go to keep the models from falling out, but leave that space, and none of my stuff scratches anymore. So all the stuff I've painted to getting ready for the WTC, all the base markings are in, and nothing gets scratched.
Awesome, and I think we talked about that last week too. So it's interesting you're getting the same series of questions from people, but I think you've addressed most of those in a way with that it should make it a little bit, give people a little bit more confidence to be able to go into the Kickstarter and feel that they're getting a solid product. Because again, I mean, Dallas has nothing but positive things to say about it. And even he had it and had a little bit of skepticism when he first saw it. Like he said that last time, but when he actually got his hands on it, was seeing how well it's designed, how well it handles everything, and how well it holds so much stuff. It's an excellent alternative and especially if you want to be able to see your stuff as well as necessarily carrying them around.
For me, a lot of it was ease of gameplay too. Like I'll preach that all I can. I've been gaming since I was 17 years old, so that's 23 years now, coming on 24. And for me, the ease of setting up, taking down, playing my tournament game. Like I go to these, I haven't missed a lock and load since they started. I went to Las Vegas Open this year, had an absolute blast, and 50% of the experience is just hanging out with the guys that I meet. Getting to hang out and meet the Charles Sung and Dave Beauchamp this year at Las Vegas was really fun, right? But having to set up and pull an army out each time, having to clean up at the end of the day each time. So just eliminating all that, making the ease of play to find all your stuff easier. And I don't lose stuff anymore. I'm the worst. I've probably lost 40 models over 25 years by just walking away from a table.
Yep.
Get home from a tournament, hey, where did that extra model go, right? And this just stops that for me. Because again, I'm not the most observant dude. I miss a lot of stuff when I'm packing up and cleaning up, because normally I just want to go.
Yep.
I want to hang out. I'm too excited, right?
Well, I love the example you gave us last time too, is the fact that you have a row, and if you're not filling up the row, you have just empty bases, just to remind you, I have to fill this up. If it's not filled up, I'm missing something. And I've done the same thing, and I've been gaming, well, just a little bit longer, but since '89. But it's the same thing. I can relate. The amount of models I've left at a tournament or on a table or at other people's places, and you come back like about a month or two later, and you wind up over a series of games you've left 4 or 5 models, and thankfully your opponent is kind enough to give them back to you. So, but the idea is it's an awesome that you have a little system where you won't miss them or you won't forget them because you've got those placeholders. So I've shared that with a few people as well, and you can see them. Wait a minute, that's a good idea, because I think all of us have lost something or left something one time or another.
See, the last bonus. So I've just finalized what I think I'm playing at the WTC. I went in, sat down, drew out how many bases of each size I needed, and built a tray, or a set of trays, so that I'm going down there with 0 empty slots.
Oh, okay.
So I've made the case as small as I physically can height-wise, with the minimum amount of trays, to actually go down and eat up zero space of the event. So I think my final product, when I drew it out on the program there to get it ready to go, was only going to be about 7.5 inches tall.
Wow.
And that's total size. I'm not bringing a dice tray because I don't want to carry my clock and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm just bringing models, and I think my total height of my case is only going to be 7.5 inches by that 13 by 8 base size.
Now,
so again, huge selling point for me.
And as I say, and that's especially if you're traveling, going internationally. I mean, that's obviously an easy carry-on. You can fit it on, because most people get really nervous and sort of twitchy when you tell them they have to check their baggage or check their models. Now, for these kind of pieces, if someone wants a smaller tray, are there options within the Kickstarter for that, or do they reach out to you directly?
So 12 by 7, the 12 by 7 tray is our set standard. We haven't broke from that yet.
Okay.
If you wanted something different, it's more we focus on the height of the case versus the width and base size. But if you wanted something custom built and you didn't want 12 by 7, we could build whatever needed. The reason we want 12 by 7 is it fits at 7 inches. You fit 3 large, you fit 6 small, and 4 medium, and that's the only size that really fit enough of the bases to make it worthwhile.
Okay, understood.
But if you say we're playing another game, I'm going to throw a small skirmish game out there. Everyone's probably heard of it, called Guild Ball. So you had a Guild Ball and you only wanted to ever pack one team. It would be very easy to make a tray that just fit one team exactly to specs that you sent to us.
Okay, good. Well, it's good to know. So what I'll do is we'll make sure we post the Kickstarter page again, and if there's any questions, they can reach out to you through that, I'm assuming, or if they can reach out to the Trollblood the Scrum page, and we'll forward them on to you as well. Either one. So.
Or I'll send you the link for the my Facebook page. The Facebook page is probably the easiest way to get a hold of us.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll make sure we do
as you can
that as
just
well.
message directly to me.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else you guys wanted to cover off?
No, I'm good. I'm excited to talk about new lists.
Okay, so
Same.
and that will bring us to painting table. What's on your painting table, which is a Goris carryover. I'm still working on Fen blades, and I'm still hating plaid. That's my update. I don't know if you guys have had any more luck with more of your painting.
Well, I've actually got them. So I've actually got them here. So I'll see if I can show on camera.
Oh, there we go.
There's Sky Splitter with his raised up hammer. I'm going to be painting up the hammer and a lot of his stones and so on like obsidian, because that's jokingly we call this the Protectorate of Thornwood color scheme, because most of my colors are ripped off from the Menoth. And not to mention, a couple of parts might have fallen off some Menoth jacks, for just one or two here and there. So, yeah, here's the bouncer as he's starting to get his paint job done.
I really like what you did with that one. I was trying to figure out. Now, you said you sculpted some of that chain yourself, so you didn't take it from another model. You sculpted some of that yourself?
No, the chain, I used some florist wire, and basically this piece here is from a Menoth jack, and I just ran the wire from his hand up to the ball, and then also I drilled into both hands, and I attached another piece there, so both these sections of chain are actually hand sculpted.
Awesome. They look really good.
Well, thank you. And what I'm doing with the shield is I'm painting it up to look like it's made of stone, and I'm going to be trying to paint it to look like there's the Trollblood emblem, the triple-headed axe, actually carved into the stone. So that'll be a little tricky with the lighting and so on, but it's always good to push your skills.
Oh, of course. Keeps you challenged, and it's amazing what you can try if it's something new. I find that I'll try a new technique and find out it works really easy. Then I realize that after a while I want to try something else. So you'll definitely need to give us more picks when that's done as well. So.
Oh, will do. And I believe Corey's got a few he's been working on too there, don't you?
So I have been working on, but I'm working on my WTC list.
So you can't share.
Oh, right. Sorry, he doesn't do anything. Nope. He doesn't paint. He doesn't do nothing.
Partially because I painted a Templar. I have really crappy light here, but I did paint a Templar because what Menoth player doesn't run a Templar.
True.
So I did paint a Templar. Sorry for the abysmal light.
That's okay.
And then I painted a couple other models, which one of them's my caster. So I've been told we're supposed to keep that hush hush.
Yeah, as I say, the secrecy behind those WTC lists is kind of makes me laugh at times, but it's all for a good reason, though, right? You don't want anyone to steal your secret tech, especially with Mark III.
Exactly.
Everyone's coming in fresh.
Exactly. Nobody wants to know that he's playing Borka. I mean,
Borka with a Templar. It's a great pairing.
It's the Menoth Borka,
Yeah, isn't that the holy wine list, right?
It's port. That's what you've got.
Drinks their blood, right?
Yeah, of course. So I think we've covered the painting, the required painting section. So let's move on to main topics. So apparently I started Oh, jeez. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but my phone decided to start Pokemon Go for some reason. I thought I could get through the episode without
Yes, we
making
can.
reference to it, and here we go. And it's funny. I can't the both because Goris, Danny, and Dallas are all playing on a regular basis, and I play casually, like whenever, usually with my daughter. And so when they're showing me their high level, all their pics of their high level Pokemon they've caught so far, and I'm like, like mine are still in double digit, most of them. Not very many are in triple digits, and they're in like four digits for most of their stuff. I have I have anyways, it just makes me laugh, the fact that how much this game has taken off with everybody I know. So anyways, that was a slightly weird segue. So main topic, and Danny's going to cut that one out hopefully. Main topic. So there was two things I want to talk about. So one, we've had some success with people asking us for updating their lists or what we think of their lists, and so I asked people in the Facebook group, both the Troll Blood one and the Scrumcast one, to give us some lists and that they want some feedback on. But the first thing I want to touch on just really quickly, and I think we'll dig into this a little bit more when we have a little bit more time to research. There was a team tournament. It's Germany's biggest tournament. There's 127 teams. It's a three-man team tournament. It's called Heavy Metal Days. It happened at the last weekend in July, and they've the D6, or is it the Page 5 DE, which I guess is it's a German War Machine podcast. These guys have collected a lot of the information and started doing analytics. So, immediately I love these guys because they're doing something similar to what I want to do, and they're making it available to everyone, which I think that's what I love about this community, is we get this stuff and we share it. But I only had a chance to look at it really, really quickly. Trolls didn't have a huge representation. There was a fair bit of Circle, a fair bit of Signar, lots of Khador. But the one thing that really jumped out on me on the Troll side is that the caster that was played the most out of all Troll Blood casters wasn't Ragnar, wasn't Madrak 2, but it was Doomy 2, which really kind of surprised me to see we'd see that many. So what I'm going to do is I have the link to the PDF, and I've shared it with you guys. And again, I don't think we have time to go into, because I wanted to look at some of the lists, but it really kind of surprised me that Doomy 2 was the big draw on that, and he actually had the best win rate for all the Troll Blood casters as well. I think he went he had an over 50% win rate as well, which was interesting to see. So I'll post the link to the PDF, which has a list of all the lists that were played. I'll post that to the TrollbloodScrum page, and if people want to reread it ahead of time and share their thoughts. But just as a quick initial impression, has Doomy 2 being the top played caster surprise you guys at all?
Go ahead, Pat.
Okay, I know for myself it surprises me, considering everybody, it seems like, is just going crazy for Madrak 2. I mean, he is a really powerful caster. I mean, he's still got a lot of his power from Mark II, even with the little tweaks that they recently made with that last errata. I mean, he can still just decimate forces. But I did not expect this at all for Doomy 2. I mean, he kind of just snuck in there, and I haven't heard even word one about him. I know he was one of my favorites in Mark II that actually spent almost a year with him, and he's great. I love the guy, and I'm really glad to see people are kind of going back to the old man. Trolls are uniting and saying, "Get off my lawn."
Exactly. Well, and I wonder too if this is their answer to some of the Jack spam, because I think Doomy 2 really his strength is in being able to have a number of good beasts, and that maybe counter the heavy Jacks with Doomy with a bunch of beasts. So again, we'll look at this a little bit closer, and if anyone who's listening, provide us feedback on the Facebook page and let us know why you think that Doomy 3 or Doomy 2's gone this way. And the other piece I wanted to touch on briefly is, again, we've gotten over 300 game results for Troll players on Mark III with our battle reporter. Doomy represents, between both the being played and being the opponent, about 20 games out of 300. So at least from the people that are reporting the games, even they're not playing Doomy 2. So it was really kind of surprising to see that number. So I think we'll spend the next episode digging into that. But if you have any thoughts on it, please share them on the Facebook page.
What's his win-loss ratio?
It was, I believe it was, if it wasn't 50% win loss, he was slightly above 50% win, where the next caster, if I remember correctly, was Madrak 2. And I think, and again, I'd have to look, I went over the numbers quickly. I think Doomy was dropped into about 20 games. I think Madrak was dropped into about 17 games, and he had a less than a 50% win average. So, well,
That's the German one, right?
yeah, the German one, correct. The heavy metal days.
What on your um,
The battle.
list that you're keeping track of?
Yep.
What's his win loss ratio there?
Oh, thank you for asking. I can look that up for you. He is one of the Ragnar is the top played caster right now, and we found the same thing when Doomy 2 came, or when Doomy 3 came out. We saw that
The new hotness.
because of the new hotness. So, and we're seeing that the casters across the board. So the battle box casters have a higher play ratio, and they typically have a low win percentage, just because it's the fact that it is a newer one, people trying to get through it. So right now, actually, no, Madrak 2 has spiked above Ragnar. Right now, when I took this results at the beginning of the week, there's 62 games played with Madrak, and he has a 61% win ratio, followed by Ragnar at 58% 58 games played with only a win ratio of 38%. So he went 22-36. 22 losses and 36.
What about Madrid?
Madrak 2 is 61%, so he's won 38 games and lost 24. And then those are the top two casters and trolls right now, according to our numbers. Borka's up there. Borka 1's got 27 games, of which he's got a 52% win ratio. And Gunbjorn actually is up there as well, 29 games with a 66% win ratio, which I can claim at least one of those one of those was me. So I had a fun game. I
can claim a couple here.
There we go. Yeah. Gunbjorn is far too much fun, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So, it is interesting to see that difference in the different regions, and I don't know if that's just because people went back to what they were comfortable with in the first major tournament, or if they saw that Doomy answered specific questions and scenarios.
If you got to have a second, I have a thought here.
Please.
My thought here is that because it's a pre-measure era and everyone's shifted to a gun line, like your top casters are guys that deal with gun line as well, right? Gunbjorn's up there. He deals with the gun line really well with his ability to just feet and shut it down. I think the speed and the ability to pre-measure limits your opponent with a beast brick to getting one turn of shooting at you. I stay just outside your threat. I'm going to run and feet next turn and just jam. And I think could be why his numbers for win-loss are up, and it could be why his play is up in Europe right now. And that's just my thinking, right? I honestly think he's a decent caster with a good toolbox, but I think his ability to clear the battlefield fast and get engaged to your hunter or engaged to your behemoth or whatever, just to tie him up even with an axer and say, hey, here's a model you have to kill, the rest of my army will be there in a minute. I think that's telling of how the game itself is going to shift.
Interesting. So it's matter. So if anything, the gun, because we are seeing a lot of guns, but if you've got the speed to get up there, they're only getting one turn. So if you can you're going to get, like you're saying, if you can shut them down for that one turn, it's forcing them where we may see the shift away from a lot of guns and maybe just enough to do some high volume or high quality shots early on, and then know that you're going to wind up clashing in the middle eventually.
Yeah, that's why seeing these results and stuff, it makes me think we might just be seeing Jarls start to pick up a little momentum as well, considering how much faster he can make things in his army. I mean, it's not quite as good as Doomy 2 with the feet, but he can still. I mean, he can put some good spells on your guys and just get them right up there and engage those guns. Suddenly, they're not shooting you as you're trying to make it across the battlefield.
Very true. And actually, right now, at least in the Battle Reporter, we've only seen 8 games reported with Jarl, which is one of the lowest number of games reported after Doomy 3 and Grim 1. So it'll be interesting to. I mean, right now I think because Gunbjorn went from being the the stinky piece of of trash that he was in Mark II, to being so good in Mark III. I think everyone wants to try him out, and I'm just as guilty because I played him on my home machine game last night, and poor Rob, I killed him on top of two. But it was so much fun, and he has so many answers, and it's along with the War Wagon, it's more fun than it really should be, to be honest. So, but I
Yeah,
think
it always is.
yeah,
I know. I finished off Mark II actually the last, I'd say, 6 months or so of Mark II. Even before they announced Mark III was coming out, I was getting into Gunny myself, and you get Gunny with a Glacier King in there, and it can just be so fun. People do not expect that kind of crazy long threat
oh
range.
yeah.
I know I've caught more than a dozen casters unaware, and they're just like, wait, what? You shoot me from how far?
Oh, and with the War Wagon, because I mean, Goris has always been an advocate of War Wagon. He's loved that, both the model and what it can do, and having the snipe on the War Wagon with lucky shots, so you got that +2 to his rat, being able to knock everything down with that pounder shot, and then having the Glacier King just walk up and just finish off whatever you need. Hot swap, swipe, snipe if you need it. I mean, there's so many great options. But actually, I think we're sort of sneak previewing some of the lists that some people are asking about. So maybe we'll stop talking about Gunny and then talk about it in reference to somebody's list. So we'll leave this the whole.
Yeah, yeah, we've got a tournament coming up, so shh. We're done with Gunny, Shh.
We'll pick something else to talk about. So again, Heavy Metal Days, Do Me Too. Take a look at the lists that were there. Let us know your thought on it in the Facebook page, and we'll take those thoughts and share them next week. Okay, so let's move on to lists. So we've had a number of people reach out to us in our Facebook page, and we probably won't get through all of them today. Well, I can guarantee you we're not going to get through all of them today, just because there's a number of them there. But we'll start off. John Bezzy had well. Do we quickly go over Gunbjorn because he has a question about the his list is a Gunbjorn list, which to be honest looks almost identical to mine. So I immediately say I like it. But the only difference he has is he's got Gunbjorn, Dozer and Smig, Glacier King, a Pyre Troll, a War Wagon, double Fire Eaters, and a Creelstone. And he was pairing that with a Grim list that we'd walked through with him previously. I like it all. I think um, I, I mean, if you're shooting, I wouldn't mind seeing Alton Ashley in there, but I'm not sure what you could drop. My biggest complaint are the issues with my list, which is almost identical. I don't have the Pyre Troll, but I do have. I'm trying what I have on my list that he doesn't. Oh, I have the Knot, so that's what he does. Is he put in a Pyre Troll and had a Min Stone, where I have a Knot and a Max Stone. The only thing I found was getting the stone full was a challenge with Gunbjorn because you want to get some of this stuff out early, so you could make use of it. So filling the stone I found was a bit of a challenge. But what about you guys? What do you think? Do you need the stone with Gunbjorn?
I don't think you ever really need the stone. I mean, definitely certain casters like to have the stone more than others, but it's a little tricky with Gunbjorn. I found myself, but I've been running him with a Min Stone personally, so that you get that protective aura more to keep Gunny and his beasts alive while they're doing the range bit. And if you need to, if you get something that's incorporeal or something coming after you, like a Denny, well, then you just put in just enough that you need into the stone, and then send that sucker flying forward, and suddenly they're not incorporeal anymore, and you just set yourself up and just take them down right there.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the one nice thing is if you can get the stone onto the War Wagon, being armor 21 with 24 boxes makes it harder to chew through as well. So I definitely see the advantages. I need to play it out. I like having the Knot just for the Puppet Master for that one time that shot doesn't work for you,
Oh God, yes.
but it's whether or not you can justify the support costs. So I do like the Pyre Troll in there. One thing I want to and reach out to, and I asked this on the home machine last night as well. If people have, I'm curious how people, and I don't know if you guys have enough experience with the Fire Eaters. Do you have a tactic or a technique for lighting the Fire Eaters on fire without a Pyre Troll, like as on their own? Do you have any secret tech you can share?
I've charged the pig into the back of them a lot of times.
Okay.
So you assault someone with the pig that it's going to draw a line across your other two, and then hopefully the pig doesn't kill him.
Yeah, to say. I was thinking if you could do some sort of weird triangle thing where on turn one you sort of walk them up instead of running them, and then sort of set them up where the two guys are in the front and the pig's in behind, but angled in such a way where you're not hitting their back arcs, you're hitting their front arcs, and sort of do like a triangle spray. But I haven't really put that on the table yet to see how that would look and if that would be a waste of time or would it actually work. So I'll come back to everyone and see if I tried that one out. But I've tried yours as well, Corey. Yeah, just get the assault and target something where you can overlap the spray onto the two guys in the front.
Or the other thing that I think of when you guys talk about having double fire readers is if you deploy them alternating between the models, and then you have one unit move up, and then the second unit they move up right behind them, and they just they light the guys on fire. Next turn, the guys in the back move up, and then the guys who are already on fire light them. It might take a little longer to set up, but depending on how you're going for positioning, it could be good because it staggers them a bit, so you can have a couple of waves of flaming trolls coming at you.
That could work too, yeah. Because normally, typically if you have them with the pirate troll, you're going to have them grouped up where you're trying to target the pig in the middle who's turned slight to the side, so you're not hitting him in the back arc, and then the pirate troll's just going to miss. And it's going to hit everyone on fire, and they set them on fire and no damage. So, in that's technique, you're going to have them grouped together. So it's the same variation, just you're not getting the pyre to start them up. So yeah, it's interesting. So anyone who's listening, if you have any suggestions, throw them in the Scrumcast Facebook page, and we'll see what people have come up with, and then see if you have any ideas that we haven't come up with here. So, anyways, I'm sidetracked. That was just one of those things that I've been thinking about. So I figured get a little group think going on it. So I think with Chris,
it's good. They're a tricky unit, so group thinks are definitely a good thing to do because they're still a pretty new unit, and I don't think we've quite unlocked all their secrets yet.
If I can get you to repeat that thought because you're a little bit choppy in that last little bit.
I was just saying, they're still one of our newer units, so I don't think we've really unlocked all of their secrets. So, I mean, having group discussions about them is still a pretty good thing. Because, they are definitely good. There's just little finesse ways to get them really going.
Agreed, and that's one of those things, too, I seem to say verbatim on this cast, I'm still consider myself a relatively new player, so any kind of times I can get hints, I think that's always a good thing as well. So. Okay, so I think with John's, I think his list's good. It's close to mine, so I'm slightly biased, but I think you got good stuff, and I would definitely to see how it plays with the pirate troll instead of the knot. So let us know how you do that. So next person is Christopher Moss, and he's got a Ragnar list. It looks like he's playing it with. He's looking for a meat and potatoes list for trolls to get used to Mark III. So he's got Ragnar. A Rune Bearer, he's got a Dire Troll Mauler, a Troll Bouncer, and an Axer. He's got the Chronicler, a Champion Hero, the Fenblade Kithkar. He's got the Max Stone with the Eldar, unit of champs, max unit of champs with Scaldi, and a max unit of Fenblades with the Officer and the Drummer. And that brings up to 75 points. There's a lot of stuff to have to chew through on that.
It's definitely a lot of meat and potatoes in that list, and frankly, it sounds like a Corey list to me.
What do you think about that one, Corey?
I love Fenblades. They were the first troll unit ever bought and the first troll unit ever painted. I think they should be in every single list, but that's just me. I like the new caster. I think his feat's great. I think more beast with him is, of course, better, in my opinion. I think he likes to be able to absorb a ton of damage. Fenblades give you a great jam unit, though. You run forward. One less dice means they probably ignore most POW 10 damage. And then hopefully you can jam till the champs get there.
Yep.
And champs are great.
Oh, they are, especially that the double attacks, weapon master attacks. That's pretty awesome. And the Chronicler helps them a little bit as well, right? Because they can get concealment. Would you put the concealment onto the Fenblades, or would you put it onto the champs?
I would run the Femblades forward with the champs behind, and then I would conceal the Femblades.
Interesting. Okay.
Same.
And one bounce.
If guys are going to take shots at the champs, they're pretty high armor, and they're multi-wound, so hopefully the champs can survive a bit. Hopefully you're forcing them to take shots at one less dice damage too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you have to keep them fairly close because that's only under his feet. It's only his control, which is, and since he's Fury 6, it's a 12-inch bubble, so you got to run them pretty tight.
To him,
Yeah.
But the Femblades can be in front of that with concealment at depth 14, and if you're losing Femblades and they're not losing champs, awesome.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, the higher value, protect your higher value models going in. And you said, but you,
Yeah, not
go ahead.
Yeah, not to mention, if you are really getting worried about your champions, I mean, let's face it, Sky Splitter, his Earth Sanctuary spell, has been a lot of fun for me in the league. It's like, yeah, all of a sudden, trolls with Duggan, yeah, so you're suddenly looking at trolls with Def 16.
Oh, it's a beautiful
And
thing.
with the crazy high armor and multi-wounds, yeah, it's called, kiss my Krellstone.
Yeah. and yeah, that the I've only played, to be honest, I've only played a few games with Ragnar myself, mostly battle box games against my son with his Khador battle box, and those two battle boxes, Khador has a slight advantage, at least from my experience so far. But yeah, the Earth Sanctuary, getting that dug in and getting that cover, and that is pretty good. But I'm curious, Corey, your comment was about running more beasts. Would you, at this point, do you think Ragnar should run more beasts and maybe drop something in this list, or do you think he's got a good feel for this?
So you broke up a little bit. I didn't hear his full beast loadout. I think if he's only got the 2 units plus Krellstone plus the Rune Bearer, I don't think he's got a lot of space to drop if he wants to run Femblades and Champs.
Okay.
And I like the idea of Femblades and Champs with them.
Okay, good. So it sounds like
I'm a little off of the Rune Bearer.
sorry.
I'm not a fan of him anymore because I'm not a huge fan of the Rune Bearer anymore. Like, I know he does reduce spell cost still, but his inability to swap spells for a caster, I don't know. I'm still not sold on him yet.
Personally, from my experiences, at least in the league, I think if the Rune Bearer belongs anywhere, it's probably with Sky Splitter, because, yeah, he's a Fury 6 caster, and 3 of your 4 spells all cost you 3. You're going to have quite a few of those moments where it's like, I really kind of need this, but it's... Because you got to wonder, you're going to try to go for that, the 2 spells, or do you go for 1 spell and then a boost? I mean, those can sometimes decide the games.
That's very true. That was I think some of the initial concerns with Ragnar is that the spell list was so expensive, but yeah, the Rune Bearer would help negate that a bit, or medicate, mediate, whatever the word I'm looking for is. Sorry, it's been a long day. Okay, so it sounds like Christopher's got a good solid list, so let us know how that one works out. And let's see, I think we probably got time for a couple more. I just got to get it. Was that me?
No, that was me.
Okay. Oh, it's your phone vibrating. Okay. Let's see if I can find the Trollblood page. Hang on, I'll switch my phone. So this is podcasting professionalism at its finest. So
we're just honoring Goris and Dallas's memory, right? I mean, I do believe last time Corey and I were on, we were joking about taking over for them. Just slowly working them out, and it seems to have worked.
Yeah, little we realized they were going to take you up on the offer so quickly. Okay, so as I try to get through, people post other than me post things to Facebook. I didn't realize that that was a thing. Okay, so Borka. See, I have yet to play Borka, so I will leave this to you two fine gentlemen. So Aaron Dix has a Borka list. Borka with a Mauler, a Axer, and a Pyre Troll, a Fellcaller, a Chronicler, and a Feralgeist, Max Stone with UA, Champs with Scaldi, a max unit of a min unit of Warders, and then 2 units of Fire Eaters. So that's his Borka list 1. He has a second one. I don't know if you want to hear both of them or if you want to go through one and then. Nope, he posted something wrong. So no, he just got the Borka list. So what are we thinking about that Borka list?
Sounds pretty solid, but unfortunately I haven't played Borka a whole lot, and the few times I did was usually with family reunions, so I'm thinking, I know Corey likes Borka pretty decently, so...
I'm just loading his card up now.
There we go.
I mean, the Pharaoh...
I haven't looked at Mark III yet.
I mean, the Pharaoh Geist is nice because, I mean, it's a good way to just sort of to harass those zones and contest whenever you need to, as long as they don't have a lot of magical weapons. One of the guys here had played 2 Pharaoh Geists in this last game with Ragnar, and all he kept doing is just he'd contest the zone for a turn, and then it would die, and that was kept him in the game. So it was a good choice for him.
Yeah, not to mention there is the annoyance factor of them pushing their resources, making them have to kill your beasts again.
Yeah.
I know I really enjoy throwing a Feral Geist in a list that's beast heavy, especially if it's one that has one of the kings in it, because then you've just got that whole factor of, yeah, guess what, you killed the king, you got to kill him again.
Oh, he can take over the king as well? I didn't realize that. Oh man, that's brutal.
I haven't seen anything saying you can't, because Gargantuans, last time I looked, are a war beast.
Oh, that's disgusting. So basically, you get you're
the king is dead. Long live the king.
The 2 point.
Yeah, no boosting though.
Yeah, but still, it's just it's enough of a roadblock. A 2 point Glacier King, I'll take that. If I can't boost, I'm perfectly fine with that.
One of the last tournaments we had before, it was actually our farewell to Mark III tournament. I went in with Doomshaper, 2 Glacier Kings, a Mountain King, and a Feral Geist. And it was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Didn't work great, but it was hilarious.
Well, the look on people's faces is what half the fun of those lists, when people sort of go, you're bringing what?
Yep.
So do we have any do we have any thoughts on Borka?
Borka list.
Yep.
I actually like Borka. I like Borka in Mark III right now. I think because he plays well into a gun line with Windwall,
yep,
and because he plays well with Arcane Ward on champions and melee, so Def 16 champs really seems like a thing. I think early game he's going to lose a bit, and then late game he's going to come back.
And
the champs are going to win a ton.
Yeah, and with the warders there, I mean, I was thinking, I mean, it's a min unit, but I mean, you can still use them to help protect Borka in the way through with Shield Guard. So you've got them there. And again, more stuff to have to chew through. Use the Fire Eaters early on, just to harass some of the pieces out front initially. I mean, in most cases, the Fire Eaters are going to be throwaway. I would think would be throwaway in this list, because you're not going to get Windwall that far up for them.
But what you're going to be able to do is Arcane Ward one of them early.
Okay.
Use the champs and warders to protect Borka. Use the warders to shield guard the beast a bit on the way in. So you can have a Def 15 unit because they're 13 base, right? I might be a little off. I haven't played Trolls in a while, but I think they're 13 base, makes them 15 with Arcane Ward, and 15 is hard to hit.
That's true. Now, would you replace the Axer with the Bouncer? Do you see the Bouncer being good in this, or do you think the Axer's got more value for him?
I would take the Axer for Rush.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely. The Pathfinder and the +2 speed. Yeah. Borka doesn't exactly want to hang back and play it safe. He wants to get in there, and so do his beasts.
True. And the Fell Call.
And he wants to stay close to the champs, too.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like he's got an interesting Borka list, and then his second list was a Grim list, Grim 2 list, and he's got Grim with the Rune Bearer, Dozer and Smig, a Bomber, and a Bouncer, War Wagon, yay, War Wagon, Alton Ashley, Janessa, Braylon, and then 2 units of Rune Shapers. The one that sort of surprised me on this was Dozer and Smig. I'm trying to figure out if he wants is Dozer and Smig bringing enough, or it'd be better to maybe take a even a bomb. Well, he's cheaper than a bomber though, isn't he? Yeah, that's okay. I don't know. What are your guys' thought on the Grim 2 list?
I can see what you're saying. A bomber might be a good alternative, because it's not quite the same range, but you do have double the shots.
Yep, and you've got far.
Not to mention, he's exactly, and the bomber is still solid in melee.
Yep, agreed.
So you've got that secondary function as well. I mean, you can't argue with 2 claws.
No.
I'm a fan of Dozer Smig with the War Wagon. I think the combo's really good. The +2 to hit, I think, super handy. I think his feet's pretty minimized here because I don't think he has a jam unit to trigger mark target for his feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's counting on that +2 to hit from Dozer Smig to land the bomber or land the wagon.
Yeah, I mean that may explain why he's got Braylon in there as well. She may have her in there to do the mark the target to get up there because I mean Alton Ashley is great for harassing, especially if you're playing against hordes to take out some of the beasts. But that may explain why he's got Braylon, or he may be running the unit of the Rune Shapers up fairly quickly as well.
Alton Ashley has Grievous, right?
Yeah, he has Grievous, and I think he also has the ability to get D3+3 before even his you do roll for damage, and you get.
He is phenomenal for dealing with Warjacks too.
Okay.
Because the ability to just hit it with a bomber twice and then hit it once with him, even if you don't cause damage, Grievous stops repair.
Ah, interesting.
So you cripple a hunter's gone, and then you're like, I don't have to shoot you for the rest of the game. I shoot you once with him a turn.
Yeah,
just to pick.
It's pretty solid.
Interesting. Okay.
Hate that guy.
I'm still trying to find ways to fit him in, but because we've got a, it's interesting. I don't know about your area, but we're still seeing a fairly even split between hordes and War Machine. I know some communities are saying they're seeing almost all exclusively War Machine, or there's been a lot of shifting back, but we're still seeing a lot of hordes players here. We refuse to give up.
I'm taking part in our. Yeah, I'm taking part in our journeyman league out here right now, and I've definitely noticed we seem to have had a bit of a shift towards War Machine. So it'll be interesting to see how things settle down once things start to calm down a bit.
Are you seeing a lot of spamming at this point? Like a lot of people bringing the same models?
We have 3 meth players at our club that show up regularly. So luckily between the 3 of us, we don't spam a lot of the same. But the last 2 tournaments I've gone to in Wet Coast in Vancouver there, which was a month ago, I'll bet you 30% of the lists I saw there had Alton Ashley.
Okay.
So there is a lot of like solo duplication, but to be honest, I don't know. It's a change. It's not like Mark. I went to the first Lock and Load playing Mark II and it was new, and every single list had Eris. Like I think I played 3 games in the qualifiers and then 4 in the finals. I played Eris in 6 of my 7 games.
Oh wow!
And I'm not too surprised. I kind of expected this when I heard that there was going to be no more character restrictions, because suddenly, hey, you can put that favorite solo of yours in every one of your lists and just go with it. So, I mean, I can understand.
I don't think it's. Sorry to cut you off, Pat. I don't think it's as bad as it was before though. Like I don't think any other than I think Alton Ashley might be the best of the solos, but you pay for him. He's expensive. Eris is great, but she's 7 points. So I think they've balanced the issue of having the same model in both lists. I don't make a list of the same model in it now as a solo. I think it's just they really pitch and hold them all the way use.
Yeah, and
But that's just.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that's just me. I'm horrible with awkward silences. So anytime there's a pause, I want to talk.
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
Well, that is true, and yeah. Well, that is definitely true, Corey. But I know from what I've seen in people and so on, and from what I've seen in the communities, there's still that whole new shiny toy. Wait, I can use it in every list. There's still people are feeling that out there. It's the wait, I don't just have to put it in one. I can put it in everything. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, new toy, new toy, new toy.
Well, what I'm thinking.
So it'll probably die off once people get used to it a little bit, but I think we're still in that whole shiny new toy phase.
Oh, I agree, what I'm seeing as well is we're seeing models like my first tournament was the one the Black Dragon in Hamilton had like the week after or a couple weeks after the launch of Mark III, and my second opponent played Haley 3 with 9 or 10 Chargers. Just because, and that's what I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, to be honest. With the power up giving him basically a boosted attack and damage roll across the board, it was pretty crazy. So, but are you seeing a lot of the same, not necessarily solos, but are you seeing a lot of people bringing a lot of the same jacks, like that Hunters list with the Signar?
Was it Sloan?
Yeah, Sloan. Thank you. You can tell how often I play Signar. So
yeah. I've noticed a little bit of that. As I say, people are still feeling things out, but I know one thing that I've noticed has been a little more guilty of this has been Kador. They're really loving the fact that they can just finally run jacks the way they've always wanted to, and I noticed that they're still seem to still be a bit spamming on quite a few, mainly like things like the Juggernaut.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're just about out of time because I have to go to bed because it's late. Um, and there's two other lists, but Seth and Eric will try to get to those. Seth has a Gristle list, and Eric has a Grim One list and a Ragnar list that we will go through for the next episode. So, just want to thank everyone for putting in their lists into the chats and letting us basically, I don't think we found anything really wrong with any of them. So good work. I'd like to thank the gentleman on the line for joining us as well. Any parting thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I'm good.
Buy Corey's cases. They're really awesome and fun.
I completely agree. If you've any thought about if you have any thoughts of getting them, get them in the Kickstarter to make sure you get them at the best price. And I think there's everyone I know who's seen them firsthand has nothing but good things to say about them. So, and if you have any questions, check out his Facebook page. We'll post it in the Scrumcast page and in the show notes as well, so you can get them that way. And just reach out to it and if you have any questions. And that Krillstone backpack thing, that's really got me thinking much more than it really should. So, both thank you and damn you, sir, is I think is the way to leave it on. So on that note, thank you everyone for tuning in another episode of Scrumcast. We'll get Dallas and Goris back on here eventually, reducing the beard count, of course, but that's sometimes you have to sacrifice something. Once again, gentlemen, thank you, and we'll do this again next week.
Well, thanks for having us.
Here's my stop button.
Have a good night.